Today's lesson is 9.1, Ratios and Proportions. If A and B are two numbers or quantities and B does not equal 0, then the ratio of A to B can be written as a fraction A over B. Any equation that states that two ratios are equal, something like this, is called a proportion. Before we go on in to solve proportions today, we're going to go ahead and simplify some proportions. There are two ways that I can write a proportion. The standard one that you saw, which was a fraction, and then this is a new way using the, I do believe it's called a colon, the two little dots. All right, let's take a look at A. You've done this problem before. When I simplify a proportion or a ratio like this, it's not a proportion because there's no equal sign. When I simplify a ratio like this, I have to get rid of the units. I cannot have these units at all. So I need to remember how many feet are in a yard or how many yards are in a foot. So feet are bigger, and I remember that 3 feet equal 1 yard. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make another ratio to get rid of the units. Remember, when you cancel units, they have to be one in the denominator and one in the numerator. So for my feet to cancel, I have to have one in the top and one in the bottom. And so feet go here, yards go there. This is so that the feet will cancel each other and so that the yards will cancel each other. And then I just put the numbers from here. So 1 yard, because it says yard. And then 3 goes here because it says feet. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and multiply. Remember, because there is no equal sign, I'm simply going to multiply numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. I'm going to pop that in my calculator to see if it simplifies any more because I have to put it in its simplest terms. There it is. Or I could write it as the numerator colon the denominator. But either of these will be the correct answer. All right, for the second one, before I go ahead and start simplifying it, I'm going to write it as a fraction. So 7 centimeters is my numerator. Always the number that's first goes on top, and then, centimeters in the bottom. That's not correct, ladies and gentlemen. It should say millimeters. There we go. I was going to say, we don't even have to do anything. There we go. All right, so I have to remember my rule, and it's 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. There we go. So once again, centimeters to cancel out, they have to be one on top, one on bottom. So the centimeter has to go here so that they will cancel each other out. And then the millimeter has to go here so that they will cancel each other out. Since the millimeter has the number 10 down here, these two have to match. And then likewise, these two have to match. 7 times 10 is 70, and 14 times 1 is 14. 70 divided by 14 is 5. This is my answer. Or if I write it, I would write 5 dot dot, and the denominator of a whole number is always 1. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some proportions. To solve a proportion, I am simply going to cross multiply. I'm going to multiply this one times this one and that one times that one. So 6 times x is 6x. And 7 times 3 is 210, or 7 times 30 is 210. I'm simply going to divide both sides by 6, and I get an answer of 35. All right, take a look at my second one. It is very important that I multiply across. I have to multiply the 3 times the m plus 1. Notice how my parentheses showed up. That's because I have to multiply the number times everything in the denominator. Same here. I've got to do 2 times m plus 5. So I have to go ahead and I have to distribute the 3 on this side, and I have to distribute the 2 on that side, giving me 3m plus 3 equals 2m plus 10. Now I'm simply going to draw my line down the equal, and I'm going to go ahead and solve this equation. I'm going to move the 2m simply because it's smaller and it will keep my m positive. 3 minus 2 is 1, and I do not have to carry the 1 along with the m. It doesn't have to be there. I can put it, but it doesn't have to be there. I'm going to subtract the 3. And like I said, the 1 didn't have to be there, so 10 minus 3 is 7. All right, our last example for today is a word problem. Proportions can be very helpful in solving word problems. So let's go ahead and take a look. A certain medicine is given in an amount proportional to the patient's body. Notice that it does say proportional. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to set up a proportion. Suppose a patient weighing 132 pounds requires 143 milligrams of medicine. That is my first fraction. I can take it and make it any way I'd like. So I'm going to put 132 and I'm going to put 143 here. Now I want to pay attention to the units. So I'm just going to quickly remind myself that this is pounds and that this is milligrams. Notice how I'm doing that very small. This is an equality. So this has to equal this. Whatever's in the numerators, they have to be the same. So if I have pounds in the numerator, I need to have pounds in the numerator here. If I have same thing for the denominators. These two must be equal. So milligrams, milligrams. All right, what amount would be required for a patient weighing 156 pounds? Well, remember, I know that the pounds go here and the milligrams go there. So the 156 goes on top. X goes here because that's what they're asking me to find, and I'm simply going to cross multiply. 132 times X is 132X, and 143 times 156 is 22,308. 22,308. I'm going to divide that by 132, and I get an answer of 169, and my units are right here, milligrams.